The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Danny Laurel, bringing you the biggest headlines from around the world. Now, the death toll in Gaza due to Israel's bombardment following Hamas's October 7th assault has now topped 20,000. Aside from these fatalities, Gaza's health ministry said more than 53,000 people were also wounded. Dr. Marwan Al-Hams of the Abu Yusuf Al-Najjar hospital said about 70% of the dead were women and children. Many patients had to be treated on the hospital floor due to lack of bed and other resources. The vast majority of Gaza's 2.2 million people have been displaced, where an estimated half face starvation. Israel's military says it had recovered 5 Israeli hostages killed in Hamas captivity from an underground tunnel network in Gaza. 3 soldiers and 2 civilians were among the 24 people dragged back to Gaza after Hamas's October 7th attack. The Israeli military has yet to disclose how the hostages died amid pending post-mortems. The military says they must brief the families of the victims first before disclosing what their kin will allow. The military's publication of the hostage deaths came as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel would deepen its operations in Gaza. Pope Francis says Jesus' message of peace is being drowned out by the, quote, futile logic of war in the very land where he was born. The Pope, celebrating the 11th Christmas of his pontificate, presided at a solemn Christmas Eve Mass in St. Peter's Basilica and spoke of the conflict in the Holy Land in his homily. There, Pope Francis said the real message of Christmas is peace and love, urging people not to be obsessed with worldly success and the idolatry of consumerism. In Bethlehem, where Jesus is believed to have been born, clergy canceled traditional Christmas celebrations for the first time in memory. Festivities are also sparse this year as church leaders chose solidarity with Gazans over the festive celebrations.
Il nostro cuore stasera è a Betlemme, dove ancora il principe della pace viene refutato dalla logica perdente della guerra, con il ruggire delle armi che anche oggi gli impedisce di trovare alloggio nel mondo. Fratelli e sorelle, stanotte l'amore cambia la storia. Fa che crediamo, o Signore, nel potere del tuo amore, così diverso dal potere del mondo.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now World. I'm Danny Laurel. Thousands gathered in Belgrade to demand the annulment of recent parliamentary and local elections. The populist ruling Serbian Progressive Party won in the snap parliamentary elections last weekend, according to preliminary results. But an international monitoring mission said the party gained an unfair advantage through media bias, improper political influence, and voting irregularities. On Sunday, a crowd tried to break into the Belgrade town hall, some of them breaking windows and throwing stones. Witnesses said anti-riot police fired pepper spray and were eventually able to push the protesters away from the town hall. Russian and Ukrainian military officials both reported downing an enemy aircraft in different areas on Sunday. Ukraine's Air Force commander said their anti-aircraft units struck a Russian Su-34 fighter bomb near Russian-occupied Mariupol. The commander said the aircraft had not returned to its base. Meanwhile, Russia's defense ministry earlier said its air defense system shot down 4 Ukrainian military aircraft in southeast regions of the Ukraine. 3 of them were fighter aircraft, while another one was identified as a tactical bomber. Let's now take a quick look at other stories we're watching. A group of Ukrainian soldiers shared a Christmas Eve dinner and a prayer near the frontline city of Kupiansk. Ukrainians are now celebrating Christmas on December 25th, a further shift from Russia, which celebrates it on January 7th. And over in Peru, police carried out a drug bust operation with the special help of an undercover Santa Claus. Authorities say the place where the drugs were being sold was hard to access, so the Santa disguise was used to get close to the scene. And the North American Aerospace Defense Command is once again tracking Santa Claus as he sets out on his mission to deliver presents. This tradition began in 1955 when a child mistakenly rang a military command asking to speak to Father Christmas. Since then, the beloved holiday event has grown into a high-tech operation that captivates audiences of all ages. And those are the top world headlines of the hour. Join us again at 9:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Danny Laurel. We are One News, all sides, all the time.